Sounds like you two are in a Ricky situation. What's a Ricky situation?
Don't you dare!
Posted by user, available space 3361, titled, "Found suspicious messages on my wife's phone." So, we've been going through a bit of a bad patch for a while. One evening, my wife wanted to be romantic, but I didn't read the signs and messed it up a bit. She was angry and frustrated, and thus we had quite a frank and probably overdue discussion about our marriage. During this, she brought up opening the marriage as a way to save it. It's, probably not a good idea. I was a bit shell-shocked, really, and didn't follow up with more questions, as I would have if I was more level-headed in the moment. We had further discussions about what we want, what we can change, and I asked her if she still wanted to open the marriage, and she said she would. I said that I'd think about it. I wasn't sure what to think, so went here and searched for opening up the marriage. Basically, almost every post said that the other party is likely already cheating or has someone lined up. Of course, no one wants to believe that, but of course it got the alarm bells ringing. In the meantime, another guy kind of starts being more present, which I thought was a bit odd. I mean, I usually would have no suspicions, but everything added together made me uneasy. I'm not proud of this, but I decided to look through her phone, and there were a lot of messages, like multiple per day from this guy, and they seemed quite close. Been messaging for perhaps 6 months or so. He messaged that he really likes her, but not really any big smoking guns from her side. She seemed more cagey in her responses. Even after he messaged her his feelings, she still kept up communication and didn't set any strong boundaries with him or anything. She sent him a picture from a day trip that we made, and said she hoped that it didn't make him uneasy when he met the rest of her family one time. Basically, it got him then asking when he can see her again, and her replying that it's tricky and that she isn't sure. Whoa, even after he messaged his feelings, she still kept up communication. Yikes, yikes, yikes. She sent him a picture? Oh my god. He met the rest of her family one time. Interesting. Very interesting. She's been going to concerts alone quite a lot recently, and she was there as she sent pictures, etc., and seemed to meet him at the first one that she was alone at. Since then, they seem to have been arranging to meet up at these concerts semi-regularly. I broached the subject with her by saying that the circumstances around her asking for an open relationship and this guy suddenly being on the scene, and she said she's not at all interested in him, but when I asked if he has feelings for her, she said no idea. Of course, that last part is a lie. Ooh, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Lying is not good. I've no idea how to proceed. Of course, I shouldn't have looked through her phone without asking. This is something that I never did before, as I had no reason to, and I feel really bad about that. On the other hand, she's been keeping secrets from me, deceiving me, and perhaps worse. I would love to hear comments and advice. Thank you. OP makes a mini update in the comments. Update, just spoke to her about it. She got very angry about me looking at her phone. She still insists that nothing happened, and she was enjoying the attention somewhat that she didn't feel that she was getting from me, which is why she didn't tell me. Things have been tough between us for a while. She was very upset. I don't know. I feel kind of shitty right now. Also, apologies. There's demolition going on outside, so if you guys hear that, I can't help that. Relevant comments. When told that his wife has been dating this guy at concerts and that's why she wants an open marriage, OP says, "I'm not sure anymore. She said she's not interested in him, yet they did arrange to meet, but there was nothing. She's super mad now, mainly because I read the messages yesterday and didn't confront her immediately. We had a really nice evening and great sex. Honestly, I did want to believe her and tried to put it out of my mind, and maybe I do believe her, but I feel like I effed up a bit though. Could be the end, I don't know. Where the open marriage idea came from. She got the idea from another couple that we were friends with. They've opened their marriage and seem to be enjoying it, but I couldn't do that though. On when the open marriage is brought up, it's the end of a marriage, OP says, I already turned down opening the marriage, which she accepted. Still, the question doesn't feel good. I can believe that she met this guy, who was actually quite a lot older, at the first concert. They have similar music tastes, so land up at similar concerts. I could believe that nothing happened from her side, apart from enjoying the attention, I guess, but I can't be sure, of course. What do we think, gang? Did something happen? Did something happen? Oh my god. It's not looking good. Poll time. Time to ask. I overcooked my rice thanks to Markee's yapping. Worth it. Oh, glad that you overcooked your rice. Let's go. I'm kidding. Oh, I hope your rice is okay. You can't fool me. The noise is from people trying to break in, Markee. He's just afraid to tell us the truth. True. I'm afraid to tell the truth like the wife is afraid to tell the truth about the open marriage situation here. Something totally happened. Once those words are spoken, the marriage cannot be fixed. Yep. Hey, you know what'll save the relationship? Me banging my coworker, said no one ever. True. Real for that one. She ain't really shooting that guy down. No siree. She is not shooting that guy down, that's for sure. She's lapping up the attention. Constantly talking to someone else, then suddenly asking to open the marriage? If something hasn't happened, she wants something to happen. True, she does. I think she does want something to happen. I'm gonna say it. There's some saucy going on. Some weird happening here. I tried to vote yes, but my wonderful cat knocked my hand with her paw. Okay, so you're against us then. You don't think anything's happening. Not one of us. Currently ghosting my wife. I think my funeral is happening soon. Another update in the comments. Sorry for the late update. Still figuring it out for myself. My wife ended, by her own initiative, I didn't demand it, the contact to this other guy. Apparently he responded that it's a shame that a grown-up man and woman can't have a friendship. Yeah, it's such a shame, you know? He meets her family, crazy, can't have a friendship together. Insane in the membrane. The cheek of it. I don't think that I'm being lied to though, no. She did say that she's not prepared to totally ignore if and when he's also at concerts that we go to together. There are regular small concerts locally which we have enjoyed for a couple of years. It's a bit of an awkward situation in that sense. I will raise the open marriage topic again. As I posted, it's something that it seems to work for friends of ours, which is where she said she got the idea, but I'm not sure that we can go on if this is something that she really desires. Yeah, just because, it worked for them doesn't mean it's gonna work for you, buddy. We still have a lot of talking to do, I think. We've been on much better terms lately. It feels like we've turned a corner. It feels like we're a proper couple again. I do believe her when she said that nothing happened, well, nothing physical, and we've discussed the secret stuff. Can I be 100% sure? I guess not, but either I can forgive, hopefully learn to trust again, or otherwise that will be the end of us. Right now, I'm not sure. I'm still dealing with lots of emotions which we need to talk through. I guess the easiest would have been to end it, but I still think that we can have a great future together. I hope so, at least. Update 1, same post. Apart from the updates in the comments section here, I wanted to add a larger update. Trying to keep to the facts as I know them, and were able to deduce from her messages. So, we had an initial discussion after I raised this whole thing after reading her messages. She'd blown up as I'd raised it after knowing about it for more than a day and us having a nice evening together. We had plans which couldn't be rearranged, which is why I didn't raise anything immediately. I know you'll say gaslighting, deflection, etc. Could be true. We had a chat the next day, and for me, her explanation seemed plausible. They'd met during a concert and swapped numbers. The following concerts, semi-regularly, like once every 1 to 2 months, were ones that they would have attended anyway. This makes sense. Of course, this makes sense. Of course, they said that they were going to them, and I guess they chatted there. There were also other people from a larger group of an unrelated concert series who were also there. As far as I know, they had only directly arranged to meet alone for one concert. I am certain that nothing sexual happened. I don't know how you can be certain, as there wasn't an opportunity. There's always an opportunity, my brother. I'm not so sure about that. I can't rule out other physical stuff. For example, kiss, hand-holding, etc. She ended the friendship with this guy at her own behest. I accepted that explanation and wanted to move forwards, and we have had a great week or so. Of course, emotions aren't easy to suppress, and I raised the thing again recently after not sleeping well, etc. She blew up again about saying now she feels used, that we can't continue if I don't trust her, that she ended contact with that guy for me, and that now she feels like rolling that back and re-establishing contact with him if I don't trust her anyway. Because it's not gaslighting. I've learnt not to say gaslighting here when it's not gaslighting. That is manipulation and some obvious projection of her insecurities right here. It's like, well, if you don't trust me, I don't trust you, so why should I give you a reason to trust me? Stop playing games. Stop playing games. I know you'll say again, typical deflection. I'm just wondering if there's the smallest chance that she's telling the truth now and her anger is for a genuine reason, or it's more guilt/deflection talking. I guess there's no way to know for sure, right? I'm not sure if there's a chance of saving this now. The minimum would be continued no contact from this guy, and I'm also thinking of suggesting an open phone policy. At the end of the day, I'm being made to feel bad because I don't trust her, that she deserves her privacy. Never got much remorse for the secret, by the way, other than an I made a mistake, it won't happen again. But I feel like she has to earn my trust back and not the other way around. Why would he have to earn her trust? She's being insane for that. Relevant comments here. What's the comment? She's describing, that's her reaction to someone else's comment. This post describes the situation. Show me the parent comment. Let me see. It sounds like you two are in a Ricky situation. What's a Ricky situation? This is a Ricky Bobby.
Don't you dare.
From your description, your wife sounds faithful and wants you, but because of some barriers, she's not sure if it's working out. This other guy seems to be more of a flirty outlet than her cheating on you. She's not getting the attention from you that she needs, so she's getting it from others. All of these things point to the lack of communication, in my opinion. You mentioned at the beginning that you aren't reading her cues. Perhaps you need more frequent talks. I don't mean about only the other guy and the lack of connection. I mean regular small talk. Your relationship is at a tipping point. You need to decide if you are willing to work to save it or not. The good thing is that it sounds like your wife is willing. I don't know about that. She's constantly shitting on him and playing games. It doesn't sound like she's willing to fix the relationship. God damn. It sounds like she's willing to play games. I'ma be real with you. Figure out what frustrations she is having in the marriage and work towards an agreeable solution together through conversation. Do the same with your concerns. I don't think you need to tell her that you looked in her phone. If you do, she will start erasing messages, changing her passwords, and you will lose the clues. Treat that like a litmus test. If she distances herself from this guy, it's probably getting better between you two. If she makes a date to hang out with him, then, well, OP says, I think this post describes the situation well. We had somewhat grown apart, and for sure she wasn't getting much attention from me. Not that I'm only blaming myself here, but I can also see that my part in this mess. I feel like she wants or wanted to make it work with us. I hope for genuine reasons. I've already told her that I looked through her phone. She has in fact now changed her code without telling me that. It also seems like she's determined to keep contact with this guy, who she insists is a friend, and I can't tell her who she can and can't meet. Which is, on the face of it, a fair comment, unless it's something that will or could possibly damage our relationship. Plus, with the history of secrecy here, and the somewhat expression of feelings from his side, I think it's entirely reasonable to insist on no contact with him. After reflecting, I would have another chat with her. I'd like to insist on no contact with that other guy, open phone policy, fine from my side, I think she would resist that, and I'd like to review together with her the chat history with that guy, as she said that I read too much into it. I think that if we would do that, we could have a chance. She is resisting marriage counseling. If not, I think that I would sadly have to end things, which would break my heart, especially for our kids, but I can't continue like this. This sucks. This is, oh my god, 2 months later? Okay, let's see what the YouTube community has to say. This is a sticky situation. This guy sounds like a chud. We're closing in on you, Markee. Don't worry, we'll get you soon. Are you safe? Blink twice if no. Yeah, I'm good. Can you guys actually hear that? Or is the microphone not picking it up? I feel crashing sounds. Connor got in. Save me. No, I'm kidding. Sounds like a flirty outlet. You don't flirt with other people when you're in a relationship. They have kids, bro. Yeah, they have kids, bro. This sounded like a fun time friend. He really dropped the bomb at the end there. Oh, well, we have kids as well. Oh my god. She has well and truly screwed this relationship. You need to protect these kids. I'm so sorry that you guys are hearing the destruction going on outside. The sounds scare me. Guys, there's a battlefield outside. They're bombing me. I'm going to die. No. Let's all focus on the sounds. No. I could just move it into the booth like I did before, and we don't have to hear these sounds. Tell us. It's the end of the world as we know it. The world is ending, you'd come over, right? Markee opening Reddit. True. Real. You're real for that. When did Markee move to Atlanta in Georgia? I'm not showing you guys where I live. Anyone that is from here knows exactly where I live if I show them outside. Update 2 months later. So I wanted to give an update since my previous post here. Since then, we've had a number of chats about what happened. Each time she gets angry, defensive, and tries to turn the blame on me. Remorse is about zero, and not even an apology. She partially admits that she wouldn't find it cool if I did that, but then says... she's effectively being punished for having made a new male friend. She did cut contact with the guy when I first found out in her own initiative. She says she understands why I'm upset. Honestly, we seem so far apart on this issue that I can't see a way forward. I suspect most and all of the comments here will recommend divorce, but I'm finding it hard to pull the trigger, even though I can't see another way forward right now. It sounded like a bomb going off. I'm so distracted, sorry. In the comments, FS Mertz says, "Welcome to the rest of your life. Since you both sign you both up for couples counseling, as I suggested 2 months ago, so you can air this out in a different context. Otherwise, the poison of distrust will continue to permeate your relationship and your heart. She half knows that what she did is wrong. She half knows she did you wrong, but her ego isn't letting her fully surrender to respecting you as well as your marriage, you as well as your marriage, with any kind of apology or remorse. If it's not her ego, then she continues to possess strong feelings for this other man. And if so, you are not living in the present. Do you really want to live this way for the next 2 decades? If she isn't cooperative enough for couples counseling, that is a firm sign of a lack of commitment to your future relationship. At that point, she'll start mixing other men into her social relationships, if only to spite you. Negative energy that kills the marriage. Negative energy like that kills marriages." Yes, it does. OP says, "Could definitely be an ego thing. She almost never apologizes. I was quite shocked when I got an apology recently. She's been quite against couples counseling, but maybe I'll just sign us up and go on my own if I have to. Might be that she then decides to come along after all." I don't think she would. I'm gonna be real. I don't think if you sign up for couples counseling, she's just gonna magically agree to it. I don't think that's how that works. OP made a tiny update in the comments. Update, I spoke to my wife this morning and she reluctantly agreed to do marriage counseling. She doesn't want to do it. It's not gonna be productive. Not sure what the outcome will be, but hopefully will help to resolve things one way or the other. I foolishly asked her if we could set a time to discuss things. Stupidly thought that we might be able to resolve things calmly. She asked what topics that we would discuss, and I said we should discuss both of our resentment that have built up over the years, plus the secrecy around that guy. She started getting angry again. I said I didn't want to discuss it if she's getting angry. We continued anyway, and she said she didn't want to discuss that again, that there was nothing. There's definitely something. Oh my god. She said that it happened because she was unhappy with us, blaming me, and she was almost ready to split up, indirectly acknowledged that she was dishonest, but she wouldn't promise that it won't happen again in the future, so no remorse. At that point I'm thinking, wow. Is wow the only thing you're thinking? My brother in Christ, there's like 30 different things that'd be going through my head if she said that to me. Comment 2. Thank you for your insightful comment. I'd say that the relationship wasn't good for the last 2 years at least. We've been together for 15 years, married for 11. She felt like I wasn't paying her enough attention, affection, etc., and that sex was lacking, which are both fair grievances. In some ways, I don't think that we're a great match. We have many common interests, but our personalities are perhaps mismatched. I'm quite introverted and quiet, and she finds that quite frustrating sometimes. I'm quite happy with her, apart from how she handles disagreements and conflicts. I can't get over the shit going on outside. They're moving metal beams. Oh my god. I'm quite happy with her, apart from how she handles disagreements and conflicts. She is very quick to anger and gives silent treatment, is often criticizing and sometimes belittling. For sure, there is resentment from both sides from past stuff. I'm also not sure if there's much to save or whether we can get past this, and if we do, that there won't be ongoing resentment. Marriage counseling or separation is the only way. I just need to choose whether to go straight to separation or not. That's the end of the story. I hate this. I hate this. It doesn't matter if she cheated or not. What matters is how she is reacting and her threats to start contact again just because OP is still not secure. No accountability, no apology, nothing but deflection. Doesn't look good. She either cheated or she was going to, but knows the truth will destroy her marriage. Yeah, and it doesn't matter anymore because in the end, the marriage is already over. Yeah, we're seeing a divorce in real time. Unless he is like OP's father from the first story that I put up yesterday with them yelling at him. This marriage should be over. I suspect she no longer loves him. I doubt she's sorry or regretful. She still needs a place to live though. She absolutely doesn't. The way she's acting shows that she's just sorry that it's causing problems for her. Words you hate to hear. OP doesn't realize wife needs a bit more time to get her ducks in a row. This marriage is doomed. He's just the placeholder husband. Don't let your husband stand in the way of you finding your real husband, okay? That's some advice for you guys for this story. But I feel like it's his only reason for fighting. He said he doesn't say the word love once or mentions any reason that she is worth staying with at all. There is zero emotion except through a few lines where he says something effed him up with almost no change in writing style. I feel like his justification for why she can't do those things is because she's married, not because they love each other. It's why I think he's so willing to stay with all those BS open phone policies and stuff. As long as wife acts like a wife and husband acts like a husband, then they are married and can't split up. But they definitely should. They've lost trust in each other completely, and this will just end badly. Also, this man needs to stop bringing stuff up. He mentioned he brought all this up multiple times. Just let it go for now and talk about it with a professional. It's obviously above his pay grade. Man. Markee, please read r/Gooner Anonymous. I'm not gonna read a Gooner Anonymous, Cal. It's not happening. Fiancé announces that she's bisexual after a solo trip to a wedding. Posted by user Icanttouchtheground. From r/non-monogamy. Oh, I didn't see that one. This is gonna be great. Trigger warning, infidelity. Oh, crazy. Wow, I'm triggered by that one. Betty, 27 female, and I, 30 male, got engaged in January after dating for a couple of years. Our plan was to get married next year when we saved enough money for the wedding. Shortly after getting engaged, we moved in together at the end of January. In May, Betty was a bridesmaid for one of her friends. I was unable to attend due to my job and the fact that it was a 5-day trip. Betty had a great time reconnecting with some of her old friends, but after a couple of weeks after she got back, she became moody and withdrawn. I was relieved when she made an appointment with a therapist since she hadn't opened up to me about what was troubling her. I don't think you're gonna like what was troubling her, OP. I just got a little sneaking feeling about that. After about 5 or 6 sessions, she sat me down on Saturday morning so that we could talk. Betty had been raised in a very conservative household and had to suppress her desires until she moved out to go to college. Even then, certain ideas she denied and refused to embrace. At the wedding, she was introduced to the wife of one of her girlfriends from college, and it triggered a lot of repressed desires over the days they all hung out before the wedding. She told me she felt romantic and sexual attraction to women as well as men. and realized that she was bisexual. I told her that I was happy that she finally felt safe in sharing this with me, and it didn't change how I felt about her. It was a very emotional moment. She asked me how I felt about her exploring her sexuality now that it was out in the open. I said that I was open to exploring it with her, and possibly having a threesome with another woman to let her have that experience. She wanted a one-on-one experience with another woman, and felt that she couldn't do that with me present. I told her that sounded more like an affair, and something that I wasn't comfortable with. I asked her if she wanted to cancel the wedding, and maybe separate while she figured out what she wanted to do. She was adamant that that was not what she wanted, and she was still very much in love with me, and still wanted to get married, but she felt like she had to explore these feelings that she was embracing before we settled down together. I don't know about that one. I don't know, that kind of sounds like an affair. If OP is not comfortable with that, then you can't do that, even if you have those feelings. Like, thank you for opening up, but that's a boundary. It's a boundary of OPs. Is it a boundary or a rule, though? I'm not sure. I asked her if she had done anything inappropriate at the wedding and cheated on me. I asked if she had someone in mind or had been talking to someone since she came back. She admitted to dancing with a girl at the reception, and they kissed at the end of the night, but nothing else happened. But she denied talking to anyone or pre-planning anything. She knows that this was a lot to throw on my plate all at once, and she didn't expect an answer right away. She just asked that I keep an open mind and keep talking about it. I couldn't promise anything, but I agreed to do some research and talk to a workmate that has an open marriage and see how they cope. I didn't intentionally choose 2 open marriage stories, guys. I was just choosing the stories that I didn't cover. Okay, I'm sorry that they're so similar. I don't know how this keeps happening. I did warn her if I found out that she lied or was doing anything behind my back, that there would be no second chances, and that I would leave. My workmate has been super helpful and open about their relationship. My brother got me into a support group that has helped me to come to terms with our relationship changes. I'm burning my way through my second book and sat Betty down on Thursday night to check in and talk about moving forward. I found us a couples therapist. I gave her the book that I had finished, and I told her that we should postpone the wedding for 6 months and then decide that if that's the path that we are still on. I was on a roll when she stopped me and asked if I was planning on dating other people, like that never occurred to her that I would be dating as well. It's always rules for thee and not for me, huh? Hey, I can get with other women, but if you dare get with other women yourself, hey man, that's a different story entirely. Oh my god. It feels like that's the way that it's going, at least. That's how I feel that this story's going that way. She kind of shut down after that, barely giving one-word answers when I would ask her something. I think the longest sentence that I got was, "I just don't know." She's been like that for 24 hours now, like she is lost in a fog. I'm just bracing myself for the inevitable flood of emotions. I would have thought that she would be happy that I was considering opening up our relationship. Yeah, it's cool when I do it, it's a problem when you do it. Add-on. My brother came out as gay when I was 16, and my parents were very supportive, so I grew up in a very different household than my girlfriend. Apology, the second half of my post was written much later than the first half, and after a few drinks. Rereading it made it clear that I should have waited until this morning before posting it. Saturday night, her fog lifted, and things got pretty heated. She said that the open relationship was my way of punishing her and being vindictive by dating other women. She was just asking for some grace to explore her feelings. I replied that she showed almost no remorse for cheating on me and instead expected me, an open-ended whole pass, to do so again. We're missing context. She did cheat? Why didn't you just tell us that she cheated? When did she cheat? She cheated at the wedding, my bad. I told her our friends had told me that she asked them not to say anything about what happened at the wedding, so I would probably never know the full truth, and just had to accept that it was worse than she admitted to. I asked if she thought that it was fair to go have sex with other people while I waited by the door like some lovesick puppy who was expected to just wag his tail when she decided to come home and show me some attention. It devolved after that, and some hurtful things were said by us both. I finally gave her 3 options if she wanted to move forward. 1. Monogamy. Postpone the wedding and go to couples counseling, no experimenting, and when we get to a good place, then go ahead with the wedding with a prenup to protect me if she changes her mind and or cheats again. You're a better man than me for forgiving her for the cheating and just moving past it. That's kind of crazy. 2, open relationship. We can both date who we want, and she can figure out her sexuality on her own terms. In a year or so, we can see if the marriage still seems like a good option if we are still together. Or 3, full separation. She moves out and we can each be free to live our lives as we see fit. If and when she decides that she wants monogamy with me if I haven't moved on, then we can try option number 1. But it would be a new beginning, not just picking up where we left off. She decided that she needed some space to think things out and is going to stay with friends for a couple of days. That sounds to me like she's choosing option number 3. I told her before she left that if she accidentally cheated while she was gone, to not come back, except to pick up the rest of her things. This morning I got a text from her, "I'm so sorry." She didn't answer when I asked her what she meant, and my call went to voicemail. I'm not going to reach out to her again, and I will wait for her to contact me when she is ready. If the person asking is part of the group who withheld the information from you, consider telling them the truth, that your fiancé cheated on you and her friends colluded to keep it from you. Consider telling that friend what you think of them for not having your back at such an important moment. OP replies, "I had that conversation with the friend who confirmed that what Betty had told me. When I questioned him later, he said Betty had made them promise not to tell them on the trip back home. He and his wife and one of the other brides were the only ones that saw them kissing. He also told me who the other woman was. She lives in a different state. She goes to a different school. The other woman, she kissed another girl. Real. Sorry about that, I must have glossed over that one. OP seems really mature with solid boundaries. Oops, I tripped and fell into a lesbian. Babe, I tripped, my face fell into a sushi restaurant. It was an accident. Okay, on to the update. I'm sure it's going to go well. I'm sure this is going to be fine. Update, August 18th, 2024. What was that? 12 days ago? Almost 2 weeks ago? So, previously, my fiancée announced that she was bisexual and had made out with a woman at her friend's wedding. Yeah, I forgot that. Sorry, brainworms and whatnot. On Wednesday, Betty went to her previously scheduled appointment with her therapist and told her what happened between us. Not sure what was all said, but she called me on the way to her friend's house apologizing for some of the things that she said and wanted to come home and talk things out. I told her to stay at her friend's house tonight and think about what she wanted, and she could come home on Thursday and we could sit down and work things out. On Thursday, we met at the house and talked over dinner. We both apologized for getting heated and saying some unfair things to each other. After talking to her therapist and having several conversations with her best friend over the last few days, she has decided not to explore her bisexual urges. The idea of a truly open relationship where I was free to sleep with other people terrified her, and getting married was more important than chasing the rainbow. Her original idea had been just getting a free pass to see if she was missing something in her life and how important that it was to her. I asked what was she asking for, a one-night stand, just dating a woman, or having a full-on relationship. That's not good. She couldn't tell me exactly what she wanted. I said that didn't sound very monogamous to me or very fair. She agreed, and that was why she was giving up on exploring those feelings. Next, she brought up the notes that I sent, cancelling out the save the date notices for our wedding. She said she was getting all kinds of calls about what happened and was caught unaware about what they were even talking about at first. She was upset that I did that without talking to her first. I reminded her that she lobbed 2 grenades in my lap, coming out as bisexual, and that she cheated on me, and then left and wouldn't talk to me except for a cryptic "I'm so sorry" message, followed by silence. While I never said anything other than we were having issues and had to postpone the wedding, evidently there was speculation that she had cheated on me. I think he's much more valid in this situation than she was. You know what, yeah, if she's not going to communicate with him, she's going to get surprises. Sorry. She switched gears and said that we could still get back on track and get married next spring. No! Because now when one of us is out of town, my mind will be thinking about you cheating again, especially after coming out and wanting to have an affair to explore your sexuality. I said maybe after couples therapy we could get back to a good place again, but not by the end of the year. And it would be foolish to start planning and making financial commitments before we even know if therapy was going to work. Plus, I wanted a prenup to protect everything that I brought into the marriage, as well as my future retirement savings. Plus, she would forfeit any equity if we bought a house. When she protested, I said if you plan to be faithful and not change your mind later on, then it would never be a thing. Just something to give me some more peace of mind. It's been an ongoing conversation for the last few days. Betty wants to rug sweep the incident at the wedding and move forward with our wedding. Exploring her sexuality is not worth sacrificing our relationship in her opinion. For now, we are back together and planning on counseling soon. In a post-clarity moment, it didn't say post-nut clarity, maybe it's not true clarity then. I realized that I rushed to embrace the idea of an open relationship to allow Betty the freedom to explore her new feelings, and I'm not as willing now to consider that option. I think separation is the better option. Breaking up, if you will, till we both decide what direction her future lies. She's gonna continue lying in the future. Our future lives, and if it is with each other. It's not what I want, but I also don't want to spend the next 3 to 5 years together only for her to change her mind or cheat on me one day. That's another grenade that's been lobbed into your lap, my brother. I'm sorry about that. Good luck. Relevant comments. OP clarifies the chasing the rainbow comments and if he has a problem with her sexuality. That's a pretty loaded statement to make. Chasing the rainbow was her analogy, not mine. Okay, does that save it? Does that make it any better? And I didn't have a problem with her sexuality. The problem I had was she cheated, granted she only made out with someone, and wanted permission to have sex with someone else. Male or female, that is unacceptable. In what I thought was our monogamous relationship. Being bisexual doesn't give you the right to have sex with someone else while you are already in an exclusive relationship. It just means that you're attracted to twice as many people. I do want to be with her and support her, but that doesn't mean that I support her dating other people to explore her sexuality while in a relationship with me. OP, on the best case scenario is breaking up. Is my voice breaking? OP says, most of the scenarios in my head end up in disaster. Breaking up and letting her find the center might be the best option. Find her center might be the best option. If in 3 to 6 months we both find that we want to start over, then maybe it stands a better chance than us trying to just move forward the way we are now. But in 3 to 6 months, I think I will have moved on to something less complicated. The fact that she thought that I wouldn't be enough and had to go experience someone different to fulfill herself could be a deal breaker to me. If you're actively considering it, it sounds like you're just waiting 3 to 6 months to decide that it is a deal breaker. It doesn't sound like there's a potential for it not to be a deal breaker. It does sound like you guys are you're giving up on this relationship, and I don't blame you. Final comment from OP. We have counseling scheduled to see what is best for us. Until we firmly resolve this issue, we won't be getting married. I don't want to have to deal with cheating or her wanting to open the marriage years down the line and then possibly getting divorced. Yikes. Yikers. Not good. Counseling might help, but realistically the damage has been done and it shows that this relationship needs to be placed on the end. Nothing about this is good. Nope. Betty needs time and distance to figure out her feelings. Dragging OP into it and complicating it with marriage? What a headache. Also, doesn't speak well when Betty went, no, open relationship for me, but not for thee. Exactly, Betty. Bam-balam, shouldn't have done that. As soon as I saw that, I just rolled my eyes. If Best of Reddit Updates has taught me one thing, it's that open relationships, or relationships in general, never end well when one partner asks to open up, and then suddenly gets possessive or jealous when the other partner takes part in their end of the bargain. As soon as she got hesitant at the idea of OP taking on his end of the bargain, the relationship was dead in the water. And it looks like OP figured that out. Yeah, no, he already knows something more happened at the wedding than he was told. He already knows that she wants, or wanted, a very unfair, very one-sided open relationship that put him and his wants at severe risk. He also knows that she only came to him to take the request back and commit to monogamy with him to save face. This is what happened, yes. Absolutely. There is no reason to trust her that she won't just try and do it behind his back again, like she already did. That relationship was doomed the moment that she asked for the open relationship, which happens an overwhelming number of times when this situation plays out. Couldn't agree more. This is a fun story. Satan is not an effing pogo stick. Couldn't agree more with that either. Posted by user ThrowRA-ex-note in the relationship advice subreddit. Titled, "My boyfriend's ex, 30 male, hid a note about his cleaning/dating habits right before they broke up that I just found. Throwaway account because I don't want my boyfriend to find this. I posted this elsewhere but thought this subreddit could help too. I, 28 female, and my boyfriend, 30 male, who we'll call Steve, have been together for 2 years and have been living together for 8 months. I was cleaning our apartment when I found a note in the back of a cabinet. For context's sake, I'll copy it below. Dear Steve's future girlfriend, I know it's you reading this because he would never clean back here. I'm putting this here because I'm leaving him soon and want to warn you about him. 1, he will not clean. 2, he will not listen. 3, he will make everything feel like it's your fault. Sounds like a gem. It's not your fault. He's just an incompetent man. I'm leaving him. I suggest you do the same. Best wishes, Natalia." Name changed. Thank you, Natalia. Very cool. I read the notes and brought it to show to him and hear his response. He immediately ripped it up and said not to listen to it, that she was crazy and untrustworthy. You know that you gotta believe him when he does that straight away. Oh, don't listen to her. She's crazy. She doesn't know what she's talking about. I would clean behind the cabinet. Like, of course I would. You can trust me, babe. I told him that the fact that he hasn't found it in the 5 years, 5 years, shit, since they broke up is a red flag to me because it does mean that he's never cleaned back there and that he has been cleaning less and less since I moved in. He told me that it wasn't a problem before the note. This is just his ex continuing to manipulate and ruin his life, and I was letting it work. We continued to argue along the same lines, and I eventually left to spend the night at a friend's place. Steve has been a great boyfriend so far. He gets along well with my family, he has given me gifts and flowers, and always tells me how much he loves me. He's not wrong that the cleaning hasn't really been brought up before. The note made me realize that it's been less and less, and that we needed to have a full conversation. He texted me afterwards saying that he's sorry that I felt like I had to leave, but that it's an asshole move for me to take a note over our 2-year relationship and to leave him and our pets alone. I don't know about that one. I don't know what to do or believe right now. I'm contemplating trying to find and reach out to Natalia. Her name in real life is pretty unique, so I think I could find her. Steve thinks that I should come back home and let it go, that his past shouldn't affect our future. You're saying should affect our future? I don't know about if you want that, Steve. I feel like I could be the asshole because everything Steve has said about Natalia does make it sound like she was manipulative and petty throughout their relationship. But I don't know what to trust. The person who said that he was manipulative and petty and lazy, or the guy who is exhibiting manipulative and petty responses to your face after being told that he's a dickhead. Like, who do you want to believe? The one that could be an abuser, or the one that's like doing all this shit right in front of you, OP? Edit to clarify. I realized I didn't clarify enough about the points, especially the cleaning. I thought I'd add it here. When we moved in together 8 months ago, the cleaning was 50-50. Since then, he's been doing things less and less, and I'd say it's at least like 70-30, maybe 60-40, if he listens to me right away. It depends on the week. I have to remind him to do things like bring his plates to the sink or take out the trash, and I didn't have to do before. The dishes will pile up unless I do them, to the point that he's had leftover food mold on the plates. I'm not a confrontational person, so I was just asking him to fix it when it came up. The note made me reflect on it more and try to have an actual full conversation. And I will say that I didn't feel listened to when I talked to him about it. I tried to use the note to start a conversation about cleaning, and he got so stuck on what I was listening to, that I was listening to his ex instead of him, that he wouldn't listen to what I think are valid concerns. He thinks I'm letting the note have confirmation bias, so no matter what he says, I'll think that he's in the wrong. Also, I didn't leave him permanently. This all happened yesterday, and I only spent one night at a friend's because I didn't feel like our conversation was going anywhere last night, and he wouldn't let me sleep until I let it go. I'm going back today, and wanted to get advice and feedback before I do. Edit 2, I appreciate all these comments with advice. I'm heading back to our place now. My plan is to first apologize for immediately bringing him the note without thinking of his feelings, and validate that it's hard to have an ex's message found. That being said, you're alright that I've been letting the cleaning stuff get away. I don't want to be in a relationship where I have to ask him repeatedly to clean. It was pointed out to me that he should have cleaned the shelves during his move to his ex's place. The fact that it hadn't been touched in 5 years, is forcing me to take the note seriously. I don't want to throw away 2 years, so I'm going to ask him to come up with some clear cleaning expectations with me and designated chores. I will make it clear that cleaning is absolutely a deal breaker for me. It's his decision on how he wants to respond. I'll try to update you all. Again, thank you so much for the advice. What are we thinking about this one, guys? Or what are we thinking? The past is not the past if it's still continuing into the present. True. Saint Natalia will save us. He physically snatched the note from her and instantly destroyed it. And she's the manipulative one, not him. He's not aggressive. He doesn't act on emotion, like, straight away. It's not a thing. As soon as he tore it up and got mad about it in front of you was the biggest red flag. Absolutely. Do you know how dirty a place that's left alone for a while can get, let alone 5 years? My man, I think that letter is a warning for her future. Man, my roommate vacuumed and steam mopped everything yesterday. Up the roommate, I have not vacuumed and steam mopped in a while. How do you let mold grow on a plate? Be him, obviously. That's how you let this happen. I want to sue Steve for emotional distress, and I'm not even there. 3 generations of roaches lived and died there, and he never cared. True. Yuck. Now on to the update. I followed your advice from the last post and tried to have a calm discussion with Steve. When I apologized for confronting him with the note, I don't know if you have to apologize for that, but fair enough. He seemed to take that as an admission of guilt and refused to listen to anything. And yet Steve's the cool guy. We all love Steve here. He's not an asshole. I had come up with a list of specific instances of not cleaning, like many of you had suggested, and he said that I was using lists like his manipulative ex did. You're using facts and logic against me. How dare you? Bringing up my inactions to spite me? So yeah, the crazy ex thing you all said was a red flag was definitely true. The ex was a manipulative cow, okay? Trust me. When I realized this conversation wasn't going anywhere, he even tried to block me from leaving. That's when I knew that it was done and left immediately. 2 years down the drain, but I'm glad that I had the wake-up call before it was too late. I will let him cool off, and then I'll ask my brother to come with me to grab my things while he's not there. He has a strict work schedule, so I think it'll work out. I am planning on leaving a note there, but probably a little longer with the advice to not show it to him. I'm leaving in the exact same place, so if he doesn't learn his lesson about cleaning, it'll come to haunt him. All he has to do is clean. The biggest surprise out of all of this is that I didn't reach out to Natalia, she reached out to me. Apparently he borrowed his friend's phone to call her, screaming that she's ruining his life still. The fact that she blocked him and he still had her number memorized just further confirms that he was the crazy ex, not her. Natalia found me on social media and wanted to make sure that I was okay, and was especially concerned that he would gaslight me like he tried with her. I thanked her for leaving me the note and saving me time. We scheduled coffee for Thursday afternoon. I wanted to thank you all again for the advice, especially the person who posted the Love is Respect website. The Love is Respect website. Well, if that's the website you guys need, Love is Respect. I took the healthy relationship quiz after our conversation, and it wasn't great. You called out how he was weaning me into an unhealthy relationship so well. For now, my friend said that I can stay until I find a new place. I have emergency savings and a decent job, so I'm in a privileged place when it comes to this messy breakup, and I'm just trying to feel grateful for that. In the comments, Gem says, "Kinda sounds like everything she warned you about in the note came true. He had never cleaned there, he didn't listen to your concerns, and he turned it back around on you and somehow made it your fault. Red flag, honestly. Any person who will leave food and mold on their dishes is not someone that you want to live with. Family, roommate, boyfriend, girlfriend, that's just a big no. On the plus side, could OP now leave the note for the next girl to find, as the dirty now ex still won't change? Did you not read the story? What's going on, Be Tricky? Steve might actually get off his ass and do a deep clean before he has another bang maid over. Oh, in the comments you guys called these a bang maid. So he wouldn't let me sleep until I let it go. I forgot about that one. So I guess Natalia forgot number 4, he's a bully. It's almost ironic how easy it would have been for him to get to shut this entire thing down with the simplest of responses. You're right. I guess I have been slipping. I'll make sure to clean more. That immediately then counterpoints 2 and 3. But he'd rather be right, and he'd rather be the aggrieved party. You didn't do anything wrong by trying to have a conversation off the back of that note. All things considered, it's a pretty funny thing to find, and his reaction should tell you everything. Update 1 day later. I thought we'd be over. I thought we were done and dusted right now. What's going on? Cleaning the house right now as I listen to Markee. It's so common here at home that hubby says cleaning while listening to Markee time. True. Cleaning while listening to Markee live time. Now that's an experience. I know that reference. If he was a witch, he'd probably make a potion out of the filth that he let grow in there. I didn't expect this one. What is going on? As you can tell by my original post, I'd like to do things right away. It was definitely a mistake to bring him the note right away, but doing the things that I did this morning right away was not a mistake, as it allowed me to save my pets. Is he a psychopath as well? Was he gonna hurt the pets? Jesus. First, I want to respond to the comments saying that I broke up a 2-year relationship over a note and chores. No, I broke up a 2-year relationship because when I tried to come up with solutions to an unequal situation, his response was to yell and try to convince me that there was no problem except me. The final straw was when he physically blocked me from leaving the house after he was screaming at me. That is not okay, and no one should stay with a man who responds to conflict like that. Now on to the actual update. I wound up texting the post to Natalia last night, and she thought that it was great. She, like some of you, asked me about the pets. For context, one of the things that Steve and I connected on was our love for our little creatures. It's why I thought that he was such a great guy, because if he could take such intricate care of his lizard, he could do the same with me. I was very wrong. He has 1 lizard that he bought before me, and then we bought 2 frogs together. I have a snake that I bought with me when I moved in. I was planning on waiting until he cooled down to go grab my things, and the frogs and snake, thinking that he would never hurt them, but Natalia changed my mind. She said that he could get destructive when he's mad, and was concerned about the safety of my little guys. I immediately knew that I couldn't wait until later this week, and reached out for a meeting with the landlord for early this morning. I wound up FaceTiming with Natalia last night, and we had a long discussion. Natalia is a lawyer, and told me that in our state, landlords are required to let me get out of the lease that I signed in cases of domestic violence. She also told me that his yelling, gaslighting, and refusing to let me leave are all types of abuse. It's definitely hard for me to sit with that, but the love is respect relationship quiz helped me also realize that a bit more last night. Apparently his constant messaging and control over what I wore and when, of what I wore and when, were signs of abuse too. Anyway, this morning Natalia volunteered to come to talk to the landlord with me alongside my brother. As soon as he heard the word lawyer, he was on top of it and said that I could break the lease, but would still have to pay for all of August, even though I'm leaving 3 days early. I felt like that was fair. He also messaged Steve to say that the apartment needed to be empty for emergency maintenance all day today so I could pack my things. Steve messaged back that he was at work all day and wouldn't be home until 6 p.m. When I got into the apartment, it was a mess. He had broken my dishes that I had brought with me on the ground and left the shards laying about. Was it Steve or was it Ron in this apartment? My clothes were ripped up and scattered around our room. It was disgusting and heartbreaking. He left his lizard alone, but opened the tank doors for our frogs and my snake. Luckily, the frogs were chilling in their enclosure, but my snake had gotten loose. not gonna make a joke about that. This made me the most mad, as she could have gotten cut on the broken plates. I feel so fortunate that she was just hiding in the closet corner, and I was able to pack her up safely into her enclosure again. All my things are packed, and I'm writing this as my brother drives me back to my friend's house right now. Natalia told me that she actually left 3 notes, one in the cabinet, one on the underside of the vacuum, and one in the crumb catcher of the toaster. Crumb catcher of the toaster. While we were there, we checked to see if the notes were still there. The one on the vacuum was, but it looks like Steve did clean out the crumb catcher at least once in the past 5 years. He never told me that he'd already found a note in our conversations, so it caught me by surprise. Natalia and I left the vacuum notes as is and replaced the cabinet one. I wasn't comfortable leaving my name on a new note, so my addition was a handout on healthy versus unhealthy relationships and a QR code to the quiz that woke me up. I'll put it in the comments, not sure if I can have an outside link. Natalia said that if he didn't find the notes in those 5 years, especially after the move, he probably won't find them again. I'm inclined to agree, especially given he did find one, but then didn't even clean the rest of the house to see if there was any more. Steve doesn't make sense to me, and seeing the state of the apartment really woke me up to the fact that I have no idea who he is. The Steve that I knew would never put animals in danger, but I don't think I ever really knew Steve. To the people saying it's pathetic that I broke up my relationship because of chores and Reddit, I encourage you to reflect on the subtle ways that abuse starts. This Reddit thread woke me up to it and gave me the resources to get out safely before it got any worse. I also made an appointment for a therapist. I'm very lucky that my job has good insurance, so I should be able to work through this relationship, and I'm hoping to focus on boundaries and my people-pleasing habits so I never find myself in this situation again. To the people wishing that Natalia and I would get together, we had a good laugh about it. Natalia is engaged to a wonderful man who cleans, listens, and reflects. She said there's a phenomenon that when people break up with their awful ex, their soulmate can quickly follow. I'm hoping that's true. Regardless, I do think that I got a good friend out of this, especially since Natalia is a snake mom too. This is my final update. I hope if you learn anything from my experience, it's that abuse doesn't start right away. First, there's love bombing, gifts, and pretty words, and then slowly, they test how much you'll put up with. You should never have to put up with anything, especially moldy friggin' plates. And the quiz? loveisrespect.org/quiz/isyourrelationshiphealthy. Madam Kitsune says, but it looks like Steve did clean the crumb catcher at least once in the past 5 years. Steve probably didn't have a choice for that one. The paper and crumbs mix would have probably started smoking at some point. Really? Is that I don't know how to interpret that. Is that real? Narrator, mistaking the warning for instructions. Steve rapidly sealed his fate. Mistaking the warning for instructions. Steve rapidly sealed his fate. Thank you, David Attenborough. Very cool. Saw this one in the wild and was wondering if it would end up here. Shout out to the women protecting women. I love WPW. Gotta be my favorite genre of text. Natalia was the real MVP. I hope she and OP remain friends. They both sound awesome. I hope Natalia always ends up at the fastest line in the bank and supermarkets. I also hope her hairdresser and manicurist always give her perfect service. No bad hair days, no hangnails. May her skin always be supple with youth. And that's what I'm gonna wish that on you guys as well. May you guys always be supple with youth.